What is up, Kyber family? How are you all doing today? Flannel here. Sorry about that late delay, but we are here. We are live. We are here in beautiful Fairfield, California at Kyber Cave, 915 2nd Street, Fairfield, California. Also, check out our website, www.kybercave.com. Right now, we are just getting ready for Hema class. We have Greg and also Ravenclaw right there. Those are our instructors. I think they'll be coming on at the end of the show. Greg, will you be on at the end of the show to talk about Lightspeed? Yes, he will be. All right, where we can talk about Lightspeed tonight. That's the new thing here at Kyber Cave. Yeah, we're doing Lightspeed. We're building it up. Everybody's super excited about Lightspeed. Yeah, and the Lightspeed is really fun. I've actually tried it a few times, and it's fun. It's a rush. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Same thing as the Saturday Night Light Armor Combat. Yeah, Lightspeed has been big. Like in a short time, it's been fun. But we have to use gloves. We have to use the helmet, and that's the only thing we need. Oh, and also elbow protection. Yeah, that's also an important thing. Yeah. And we have a point system. We also have the clickers. We go up to 15 points, but we have our friend Kane that is helping us get this and it's settled. And we are learning a lot from this. So if you guys want to try Lightspeed, come down to 915 Texas Street, Fairfield, California. We are happy to have you guys like competing. I love this community that we have. New people coming in every day. Yep. Oh yes, they're getting the synthetic swords ready for Hema class. Yep. Today is, I believe it's sparring day here. Yeah, practice and sparring. Yeah. All right. Yeah, sparring at the end. Yeah. So our schedule is the same right now because of COVID. We had to reduce hours due to COVID. So we are closed Monday through Tuesday, but Wednesday through Friday, we are open from 3 to 9. And on Saturday through Sunday, we are open from noon to 9. Yep. On Wednesday and Friday, we have HEMA class from 7 to 9. And Thursday, we have our endurance training with Sean. Yep, we will be live. I will be live streaming on Thursday of what endurance class is all about. Like I've tried it, and it is really good exercise, really good cardio for those who like don't want to lift that much weight. It's just basically cardio. No, oh, hello, man.
Yo, what is up, my friend? I am in the back room right now. We are having some technical difficulties, so uh, Flannel is in my spot, and I'm in the back right now.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. I'm sorry.
I was not prepared. I was not prepared. I only got 20% juice on my phone, so we'll make this work until the Gary interview, and then I'll get some more juice on the phone.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, right now I'm just talking about our schedule and what we got going on at the cave, our events, and also special dates.
Oh yes, very exciting. Very exciting.
Yep, and I was also gonna say that on Saturday, that's the main event. That's the big day for us. Saturdays are like the big days.
Saturday nights, that's what everybody gets excited about. They love coming out to the battles. Battles
Oh,
at 7 o'clock.
oh yeah, the battle's at 7 o'clock. And Felipe, I think that's Felipe. He said, "Ark, I miss you, sir."
Hey, Felipe, hardly heroes in the house.
Yep, and also we have Dungeons and Dragons from 4 to 6.
Yeah, and we
Yep.
had a we had a decent sized group last time for that one too.
Oh yeah, we did. Yeah, we had like a. It was the battle was pretty interesting. Yeah, we were actually like in like a scrapyard.
All right,
Yeah, the setting was a scrapyard, so I actually got 3 kills the first time I ever got 3 kills.
nice. Hey, did you get to see my cool new mask?
Oh, nice. Hold on, let me
Ooh,
zoom into that. Yeah, let me
that's
zoom in. Yeah,
that's
there
a
we go.
This is the Raven Wing Hema. Let's see if I can turn my Raven Wing Hema. That's the Hema group that meets here on Wednesdays and Fridays.
Yep.
This is their mask, and they have a patch now too. So if you guys want to get involved in that Hema, we are growing. It is growing. They are part
Yeah,
of
it
the
is.
Hema Alliance. So people from all over the country can now see us listed, and if they want to come participate, they know how to reach us.
Yep. Yep. And Hema's getting big. Yeah, it's getting big, and like it's grown so much. And like Hema's been around for like in here for like 2 months, I think.
Well, in here, yeah. Hema is huge though worldwide.
Yeah, like we've been having Hema here for 2 months, and it surprises me how much it's grown in here.
Yeah, I think there was like 6 to 8 people out on Wednesday night class.
Yeah. Yeah,
Not too bad
Sithcat.
for a Wednesday night.
Yeah, Sithcat and Chuck actually came out. Yep.
Right. I want to say that was their first time coming to Hema class.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Yeah, and last week they were here for I think endurance training. Yeah, it was endurance training.
Yeah, exactly. I guess they had some schedule, some issue or some things open up on their schedule, and they had time to come out, so they were able
Yeah.
to come and check those out. Hey, you don't happen to have the new saber that the Iron Man that Chris did? You don't happen to have that there, do you?
I actually have it right here. If you yeah, actually I actually put it right there. Yeah.
Oh, you put it away, or is it next to you?
Oh no, it's not next to me, but I can go grab it right now.
Oh, okay. Well, it's a yeah. Why don't you grab that real quick, and I'll just talk to everybody for a quick second.
Yeah.
What is going on, internet land? This is Arc Xcala at the Kyber Cave. I'm pulling my mask down. I'm trying to do it proper justice here. I don't know. My head might be a little too big. It's where I wear the Vader one. That one seems to fit me well. So Ravenwing Hema here. You can get these masks here at Raven Ring. He also has patches that are available. And
Right.
ooh, is that the new the Iron Man?
Yeah, that's the new
So
Iron Man. Yeah.
you guys have seen this hilt before. The hilt is nothing new, but
The
show them
hill's
the
nothing
updates on
new.
it. First off, show them the hand.
Oh yeah, the hand. Yeah.
I love how
The
the button is
button,
right at the hand.
the
And
repulsor.
did you grab a blade too?
Ooh. Oh, actually, yeah, I did not. Oh
I did
god.
not think you did grab a blade. Anyways,
Uh,
go ahead and turn it on, but don't shine the light in the camera.
oh no, I just put it right here. Yep. Yeah, it's an amber color right there.
Yeah, so like his blast and the startup sound is his mask going on.
Yep.
And I
Yeah.
love how when it's lit, show off the repulsor light.
Oh yeah.
It's his repulsor on the hand is the illuminated switch. I love how
Yeah.
that turned out.
And look at the swing. Hear the swing.
I love that.
Yeah, this is the cool one.
So Soju custom built that font for that saber.
Oh yeah, he did. He also did it for Harley Quinn and Joker too. Yeah,
Right. I think he's working on fonts for those now, right?
yeah, he is.
Beautiful. So if you guys want anything custom, any sounds, we're getting there slowly but surely. We've got our NeoPixel savers that are up and popular. People are loving the NeoPixel savers. We are able to customize and put whatever artwork you want on your hilts. We can color your hilts where you want, your helmets. We're doing helmets now too. So there's a little bit of lot going on at Kyber Cave.
Yeah, definitely is. Yeah, man, I'm excited for everything. Like, I know I say it all week, like every time, but like I'm excited for everything.
Yeah, it seems like we're running out of room on our schedule for activities and events.
Yeah, well, we are still happy to have like more. I wish like we're still happy to have more
Right. Well, I had just realized the other day that every day at 7 there's something happening.
every day at
7
7.
p.m.
Yeah,
there's some activity happening at Kyber Cave.
yeah. Like I think that's the lucky. I think that's the lucky time time passed, like 7 to closing. Yeah, that's the big things.
Right. Well, people are home from work. People have eaten dinner. They've had time to chill out. Now it's time to have some fun and entertainment.
Oh yeah.
Speaking of fun and entertainment, is Mr. Gary Ripper backstage?
Not yet. Let me. Oh, no, not yet. I have. Let me get him. Let's see where he is.
What about our special guest? Is our special
He
guest
is.
back there?
He is backstage.
Gary's or the guest?
The guest.
Ah, okay. But no Gary as of so far.
No, not yet.
Oh man, leave it to Gary and V to be late. Okay. Well, you know what? Let's see. I guess I can get this interview started until Gary comes on. How about that? You want to do
All
that?
right.
All
Yep.
right. So when Gary comes on, just go ahead and put him on. All right, Flannel.
All right.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I am going to be learning just as much about our guest as you are at this time. I do know his name is Tom Amoroso. He is the founder of a Saber Academy. I don't remember which Saber Academy. So again, I'm going to be learning just as much as you are. So please, with no further ado, give it up for Mr. Tom Amoroso.
Hey guys, thanks for having me.
Hello.
Appreciate
Hey,
it.
how you doing, Tom?
Good. How are you guys?
Life is beautiful. Thank you for coming on tonight.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it. Looking forward to
Yeah,
Rick
well,
getting on
I'm
here
hoping
too.
Gary and V will pop in whenever they are ready.
Cool.
But I'm gonna take over services for Gary until he pops in.
Sounds good. Thanks.
So Tom, tell us tell all of us because I haven't had a chance to meet you either. Tell us what it is that you do and why Gary would want to bring you on the show.
Sure. So Gary and I go way back. Or I've been. We met probably back at TSL 2, back in Minnesota a number of years ago. So I actually have two. I think there's two things we're going to talk about. First is, well, I own and I'm the head instructor at Columbus Saber Academy. So I'm located in Columbus, Ohio, originally from New York in the city.
Wonderful.
Moved out here about 12 years ago or so. And about 5 years ago, a group of us got together and started doing some training and founded what ultimately became the Columbus Saber Academy. So we have a dedicated facility here in Columbus. We have classes 6 days a week.
Wow.
We started doing LED sabering, so lightsabering classes. In the last 3 years, we've opened up and started doing historical European, so the Hema activities. So mostly in longsword, military saber, rapier. But yeah, so it's a great space. We have a great group of folks here. I got some excellent instructors working with me on this. It's just a real lot of fun.
So when you started off with lightsabers and then opened up to things like Heman stuff, or were you?
Well,
What kind of background did you have?
sure. I started my martial art career in 1987, so a while ago.
Mhm.
Spent about 15 years in the Bujinkan, which is a Japanese-based system, kind of an amalgam between samurai and ninjutsu systems. That's where I learned most of the kenjutsu and all the Japanese swordsmanship that I know. Then spent about 5-6 years in classical Western fencing, studying Italian foil and saber in New York at the Martinez Academy of Arms.
Mhm.
And from there, moved to Olympic fencing for a little bit. But then, we started the Saber Academy. And the interesting is, it was really a bunch of us wanted to get together. We wanted to do a lot of choreo, right? Most of us were costumers and cosplayers. So we were in a few of the charity organizations that are out there, did a lot of, hospital visits and parks and kids, activities. And started doing choreography, right? Just staged combat work. A lot of fun. We used all the same techniques. I kind of taught a very kenjutsu style to the sabering. And then about a year in, I actually connected with Charlie and Terry and Ryan from the Saber Legion and started talking about full contact that they were doing. And we're like, wait a second, we would love to do that too. And then it just kind of blew up from there for us.
Mhm. Mhm. So do you do? You said you were talking to Terry and them at the Saber Legion. Would you say that you are similar in your combat style? Do you require the same kind of armament or?
So we do,
Um,
yeah, and that's probably the second part of what Rip wanted to talk about is we have a collection, a group called the Saber Combat League, It is a league of sabering academies and schools from pretty much around the world. We've got representatives, from the UK and France to Mexico, up in Canada and across the United States. And that's probably where the tie-in comes, right? But yeah, we've always taken, even my guys in CSA, we've always taken a heavy bladed approach to sabering, right? So very, very analogous to Western European martial arts versus, I love the light speed stuff. And I had a chance to fight with Kang at an Indiana Lightsaber Academy tournament a few years back. I fight with those guys as well. So we love to mix it up in disciplines and in leagues as much as we can. But where I view the analogy to Lightspeed as being more of the Olympic fencers, right? So a little faster, a little more ballistic and aerobic. The TSL and the heavy blade fighters and what we're doing in the Saber Combat League, which is what most of us teach, because we're very, again, analogous to what we do in the Hema space.
Right. So you're able to combine. You said you started off with a background in kendo, but then you started learning the European martial arts. Are you finding that all of this translates over, or is one style better to start with than another when it comes to saber fighting?
I mean, if you're talking preference-wise, no, right? There really isn't. There is a language to fencing that is very common to anywhere in the world and most of the places throughout time, right? Footwork, measure, distancing, tempo, understanding your opponent, understanding your awareness, and then applying techniques that you learn. Those are universal concepts, right? What techniques are best for you depends on who you are and what time of your life. What I used to do 30 years ago when I first started is not the way I fight now. Right. So I've kind of adopted as I've gotten older, or hopefully a little wiser, got hit in the head enough times. So who knows? But yeah, honestly, the best school you can be at is the one that you get something out of. And if you're lucky enough to be in a metropolitan area where you've got, a plethora of different types of sword weapons to train with, great. Try them all out and see which one resonates. A lot of people aren't that fortunate. They have a kendo school or a Olympic fencing school, but great, do that, right? That's going to teach everybody the basics to really have some fun and be able to see yourself progressing over time.
Excellent. Now, when you first got started, you said I had noticed. You know what? And I'm going to be multitasking here because my phone's
no worries.
Outside, so I'm going to switch computers over here.
Cool.
You said was it a group? How many people were doing this?
When we first started, we had a group of, there was probably 3 or 4 of us. I think our first class, we actually had about 6 or 7 that came out for our first meetup.
Make sure they got a link.
That's evolved. We ebbed and flowed over the years.
Sure.
I think right now we've got about 50 active students at Columbus Saber Academy.
Wow.
So it's
how did you actively grow that?
How do we actively grow that?
Right. How did you go from starting from a small group of people to having over 50 people?
I'll be honest with you. It's a lot of word of mouth. It truly is. It's a lot of social media presence. It's a lot of getting out there and going to other states, going to other groups, participating in other charters. There are schools all over the country. And, we all love, that's why we started the Saber Combat League, is a way to bring together all the different sabering schools around the country and around the world to say, hey, we're all teaching. The rule sets might be slightly different, and that's cool because that's unique to our schools. But I want to fight other people. I fight my guys a lot, and we all fight all the time, but that's good. We grow and we get better. But after a while, you need that diversity. You need that challenge. And that's why we put the Saber Combat League together, is it was a way for us to say, hey, what events you're doing? We're doing one in October. You're doing one in September. Cool. I'm going to come to yours. You come to mine. And what we start doing is we start promoting each other's schools. That gets our students better because we're fighting other people. That brings some additional revenue into the school because it's no longer just a school tournament. Now it's a regional tournament or it's a multi-school tournament. So that means we can improve our facilities. We can buy extra gear. We can help some folks out. Right? It was a great way. And we started this, I didn't really go through much detail, but we started this, I think, the middle of last year, brought together a bunch of school owners because we're just talking about, what do you do for a promotion? And what's your best gear deal? And hey, have any issues with insurance? We talked a lot about school owner boring administrative stuff. But then we realized that we could, if we got together and started thinking a little bit more about it, we could really support each other and to, start to encourage the community to grow that way.
Right. And how many schools? I'm sorry, I apologize if I missed this in the transition. How many schools did you say were involved?
So Saber Combat League right now, I think we have 30 schools engaged across around the world. And all of that, we don't ask. It's not like there's this rigorous process to become a school and a partner academy with us. We pretty much have four concepts. One, you have to be actively teaching your students, right? That's important because we want to be able to learn and grow. You got to be dedicated for your students to get better, right? So that means you're really committed to your people. You got to be part of your community because that's super important.
Right.
And then you got to want to host a tournament or an event or a seminar or a workshop or a gathering once a year so we can promote the real core thing is let's help each other out, right? Let's go to each other's events and move around the country and see each other and fight with each other because that's how we kind of get the community more connected.
Right. And what effects have you seen?
Well, again, we kind of, everything kind of went to hell, back in March, right?
Right.
We all got together in December and, put the website up and started formalizing. We put our event calendar out for 2020. And across the schools, we probably had about 18 events that were going to happen. And we were early in the year. So I presume the whole second half. But did any of them happen? No. Actually, I think two of them, the two real early ones in the year did end up happening. But after that, no. And that was kind of a problem. Everything kind of got monkey wrench thrown into the works.
Right.
The good thing is, Bobby Zavala and the Saber Strong folks down in Nashville, Tennessee. Bobby's a great friend. He comes up to all of our events up here in Ohio. Good guys, great fighters. We've been talking for a long time. They've been wanting to do an open tournament down there. And we've got one on the books. So early December, I think it's the first weekend of December. So if I pull my clock up here properly and quickly enough, December 9th and 10th, I think it's the 9th. It's going to be that's January. Shoot. Sorry, I went too far. 5th. Yeah, December 5th. Good. I thought it was then. So Nashville, Tennessee, Saber Strong Open. It's going to be an LED sabering tournament open to any schools, part of the Saber Combat League, and any individuals. Bobby's opened it up to if you're an individual contributor and you want to come up and come over, come on out. We'd love to have you.
Wow, this is fantastic.
So
how many people, what is the most amount of Sabers you've gotten together at one time?
So I guess our biggest one that we've ever done is we do what we call the gathering every year. It's basically a gathering of people. We have a weekend of fights, fun, food, and fellowship, right? We just basically eat a lot, eat each other up a lot, and have some fun afterwards. We open our school up around 2 p.m. on Friday, and we usually close it around 8 o'clock at night on Sunday. And everyone is there in between. I think a couple of years ago was our biggest. We probably had, I gotta say, over 70 or so people there at different points over the weekend. Our biggest tournament that we've had out here was what we call Crossroads. It was last September, about this time last year. We had 50 participants, I think it was. It's funny because we look at that number now and we're like, that's a pretty small number. Bobby's expecting at least that down in Tennessee, maybe even more. But yeah, it was a good turnout. It's great. And there was folks from, I think we had 12 states represented around the country. So it was a pretty broad selection.
Right. Excellent. And so what is it that motivates you to do this? Obviously, when you started, 5-6 years ago, motivations were a little bit different. You had a cosplay team, but now this has really grown into something where you're collaborating with other schools. You're putting on tournaments. What has been the motivation for you over all these years?
It's a great community. I got to be honest with you. I have met some of the nicest people, some of my closest friends, hitting them with lightsabers, right? Glow sticks are not just for the dance floor. We're out there hitting each other on the top of the head with them. But I get that way, and everybody's in it differently. I have students that are there for community purely. They're there because they want to socialize with other people, and that's awesome because we're all geeks at heart, right? Our genres might be slightly different, but we're all geeks. For me, I like the discipline of it. I like the workout and the conditioning aspect of it. I love trying to get better. I love whipping my mask off at 51 and seeing that 20-year-old across from me saying, "Hey, it was a good fight." Right? I'm not getting any younger, but it's a fun sport, and and that is how I look at it. Right? We teach martial techniques, and most of the schools, actually, I would say all the schools I shouldn't say that questionably. Yes, all the schools in the Saber Combat League, we teach martial techniques. Right? The system, the style, the time period might be different, but we teach techniques. How you apply those techniques in this situation is at a tournament, right? Tomorrow it could be, I'm developing a pattern or a form doing stage combat, or it could be a personal protection situation. It's kind of the cool thing about it. It really once you start learning and once you start understanding that there's science and there's techniques and there's discipline behind just whacking people on the head with sabering, it opens a whole world of opportunities for folks.
Right. And so right now, I mean, you were talking about how COVID has kind of thrown a monkey wrench into everything. What are
Oh,
you doing right now to kind of keep that family unit? You talked a lot about community.
Yep.
What are you doing to keep that community alive, other than being on interview shows?
Yeah, exactly. Right. I'm the worst. I'm usually a behind the camera guy, but it's funny. So March hits and Ohio closed down. Right. So when we made all the decision, we're going to close the school down. I to be completely candid, I'm super happy that I had the school because it allowed me to go there. Right. And I'm all by myself. And I'm like, well, we're going to live stream. And I was live streaming 3 nights a week. And I've got everything up on our YouTube channel, Columbus Saber Academy on YouTube. Check it out. There's a couple hundred videos up there of us fighting in all different disciplines. Plus, we did these live streams. So it's funny. First, it was weird because I love to interact with my students, right? I stand in front of a mirror. We got mirrors on the wall, and I see everybody what they're doing, and I do all the routines together. We all work on it together. When I'm by myself in front of a camera, there's no one there, right? So those first couple times were completely nerve-wracking for me. But then I was finally like, it's just a class. I'm going to teach a class. And the guys joke with me because they're like, I got to listen to your class for that 5 minutes of nugget of wisdom that you hadn't said before. I'm like, yeah, sorry, you got to take the whole class, right? But that was a lot of fun for me. And that kind of kept me connected. It kept all of us connected. We opened up I got a Zoom channel like most people did for the school right when that happened. We started doing live streams on Sunday night, just getting together and chatting and talking, drinking a little bit and coffee or whatever, water, whatever you need. And that was nice, kept the group together. The live streams did help. And actually it was great because we connected with some folks all over the world with the live streams. But thankfully, early June, Ohio started opening up a little bit, and the governor said we're allowed to start opening up classes with restrictions. We opened back up the first week in June with nice. I love that, by the way. Sorry, saw that pop up. I hope I'm doing it too. We, it's reduced class sizes, right? It's masks on all the time, facial coverings on all the time, even under the fencing mask when we're fighting. We wear masks. If anything, we say it's going to work with our breathing and it's going to help us breathe better over time. Sanitation procedures, right? Cleansing procedures after every class. But we do what we can do because we want to be here, right? I'm really super thankful for all my students that are there because it's a choice, right? We're all adults and money can be spent on many different places, and they're choosing to come in and swing a saber or swing a sword with us. And that's really humbling, right? And I'll be really happy and excited to say just about everybody that was with us before the pandemic happened has come back or will be coming back shortly, which is amazing. And we've had an influx of new students in the past 2 or 3 weeks that I'm just baffled by, right? So it's really humbling when I get that many people coming back and enjoying what we're doing. It means we're doing the right thing, right? We set up a community, we set up an environment that's a good environment, an encouraging environment. And that's what we want to do with the Saber Combat League, because that's what every single school is doing out there. They're all trying to bring their communities together, bring their students in together, and just work together to get past all this crap that we're all having to deal with, right? And that's why we're hoping that the more we can support each other and more to go to each other's events and work with each other, honestly, the more we're going to help grow. Forget the financial side of it, right? That'll take care of itself. We really want to grow the spiritual side of it and just the fulfillment side of us being together as a group of people. So that's what we're kind of hoping. Seems like we blew up this week. A lot of attention this week. A lot of stuff happening this week. And I don't wish ill will on anyone. I love everybody that's going through all this stuff. But yeah, I don't envy anyone for what they're going through. There's a lot of crap happening this week. So we're here. We started our group up, kind of blew up again the last couple of days, but that's okay. So everybody has anything they want to talk through, come on in. Hey, what's up, Rip?
What? Okay. Oh, sorry about that.
He's coming out.
There? Flannel, do we got Rip? Do we have Gary in?
No, I'm just waiting for him. Oh, wait. Here now, time issue. I apologize. Just got back from Arizona to Texas.
Ooh, good load. Do we have backstage?
Yeah, so he said time issues. I apologize.
Yeah, no problem. Make sure if they don't have it, make sure to send a link to Gary Ripper so that they can jump on and Gary can jump in anytime he's ready too.
Yeah, he has the link. Yeah.
Oh,
He's
okay.
here now.
I see someone popping in. So I had one more question before I hand this over to Gary. And Gary's gonna be all confused. He's been on the road. All of a sudden, he's jumping in on the middle of an interview. So you said that you've had a lot of new students coming in. Are they primarily children, or are they people of all ages?
No, actually, our smallest population are my kids' classes. I only have a handful of kids in the school. All of them are adults.
So is it primarily Star Wars that brings them in, or do you get some people that are just, because I know we have, so we are Kyber Cave. We're kind of an unusual situation in that we are a retail store, but we also have a dojo inside our store.
Right.
And I know that when, especially when we were in the mall, we used to have a lot of people that were just tired of going to the gym. They were tired of jumping on the treadmill, and they were looking for a different way to work out. And they thought, swinging a saber around looked like a good way to burn some energy. So what kind of people do you get that are attracted to this?
It's a very wide mix, to be honest with you.
Go ahead and bring. I'm sorry. Flannel, go ahead and bring Gary up.
And I know that
Hey, what's going on, you guys? How y'all doing?
What's happening?
Oh man, we've been traveling some more, and still not done traveling.
I can only imagine. That's got to be tiring.
Yeah, man, these masks and moving and grooving, and it'll be over in a few weeks though. So yeah, but we're here though. We made it, man. I mean, one thing, man, is that you got to remember one thing. Turn your phone, we call it airplane. What is it? Airplane mode. Turn it off when you get off the plane. Save you a lot of problems.
Yeah, I got stuck there the whole time. So to answer your question about the students, what motivates them? It's a broad mix, right? I've got folks that are hardcore martial artists, swordsmen, that are tournament fighters, and that's cool. And I've got super, folks that are brand new, just getting off the couch, wanting to get back into the swing of things. We're all geeks. I don't care what. I mean, we always joke that there's this, perceived hierarchy in the sword fighting community, right? Rapierists, and Olympic fencers, and classical and lightsaberists. We're geeks to the rest of the world. We're all swinging weapons, sticks around, right? That no one else does. So we got to realize that we're all geeks, and that I think is the biggest thing that brings everyone together. Because the environment we have at the school, and I know all the schools have been doing this, it's real welcoming. Because again, we're using weapons that either one are completely, lightsabers, right? It's glow sticks. Or they're historical weapons that who's carrying a sword on their waist anymore? I wish we were, but nobody really is, right? So there's a choice to be there, right? And in this state of spending your money and you're spending it on sword training, that's pretty awesome, right? But I mean, I'll be honest with you, I treat it like it's a martial arts class for me. We do footwork, we do dancing, we do timing, we do forms, we do techniques every class, and we spar and open bout. So everyone comes in and says, I didn't quite expect that. That's pretty cool. Right, so that's kind of the nice thing about it.
What?
How you doing, man?
Hey, what's going on? I got a little late because of the timing and everything, but my clock is set an hour back still. So
they said
I didn't know what was asked.
I'm like 7 Eastern. Oh shoot! because it was like 8 o'clock when I looked. I'm like, I totally forgot about. Oh no, tonight. Okay, fine. So.
No, I was on a plane and everything else too. So I've been moving and grooving. We're moving back to Arizona. So I'm glad I got to be on here and talk to you though, man. I'm not sure what did Van say to you. I mean, I'm not sure what he asked already. I don't want to have you repeat anything. So
it was a pretty interesting stuff. We were talking a little bit about Columbus Saber Academy and how we started up here in Columbus. We didn't talk too much about Saber Combat League yet, so we can certainly talk about that if you want.
Okay, yeah. That's what I want to talk about.
Or any of that either, so we can always go wherever you want.
But one thing I know you for is your hilts too.
Thank you.
And your fantastic black Mando with the carbon fiber. Man.
Thank you.
It's beautiful Mando, by the way. If you guys haven't seen this Mando, try to look on his page, find a picture of it somewhere. It's badass. And the hilts you make. So I want to talk about your hilts too, and what's going on with Saber Combat League.
Cool.
The Saber Combat League thing is kind of blowing up right now for obvious reasons. People who are in the community kind of know what's going on. So no need to repeat any kind of like craziness. But the positiveness that's going on right now is Saber Combat League is a place that can continue what's going on. From the outside looking in, it looks very welcoming. There's a lot of people who are coming on from different chapters, from different areas. So can you tell me a little bit about what's going on with Saber Combat League and what's happening with that bad boy?
Yep, thank you. Yeah, appreciate it. So we about a year ago this time, a bunch of us that own schools around the country were just chatting. We had a little group set up. We talked about insurance issues. We talked about promotion issues and all kinds of little things, waivers and all kinds, just general boring administrative stuff. And I was like, "You're doing a tournament. Wait, we should come out to go to your tournament. We're doing one in September. You want to come to ours?" And all of a sudden we started saying, "Wait a second, there's a ton of these things that were happening." The cool thing was it didn't matter what league or what discipline or what style of fighting it was. It was, hey, cool, we're doing a light speed cut rule. We're doing LSAT from France, the Sports Saber League. Oh, cool. We're doing, TSL rules over here. And everybody started going, this is cool. We have a like mindset. We're all out here to train students and train ourselves first and foremost, right?
Right.
We're following a structured approach to what we want to do. And heck, mine is different than everybody else's, right? We're all kind of doing following different parts of history and how we want to teach the stuff.
Right, exactly.
There's a common thread there. And we wanted to kind of pull that thread and see what would happen. And we did that through the second half of last year. And about December, January, we kind of pulled that far enough where the Saber Combat League started. And we're like, let's just get together. Let's start to list all our tournaments in one place. Common hub that our folks can all go to see what's happening around the world. And then we said, well, we want to do some commonality to the rules. We all kind of holistically agreed we didn't want a common rule set because every school is different. And we want every school to be able to have an identity and say, this is our event. We do a rule set of like this. We score like this difference. And it's cool because it becomes their identity.
Okay.
So we did is we put a very small baseline framework of rules together that just basically says you got to have the right armor, you got to have a certain type of weapon, you got to use the same kind of blade as whatever is being promoted as thin wall or thick wall, whatever is being promoted by the host school. But other than that, it's up to the host school, right?
So is it kind of like my turf, my rules kind of thing?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Which is kind of cool because it really starts to develop an identity for that school to say, like Bobby Zavala in Tennessee is doing the Saber Strong Open this December, right? And Bobby's like, we're going to allow hand checks. We're going to allow cross guards in one category.
Right.
That's awesome, man. It's perfect because it starts to make that more of what you want it to be for your school, not what I want it to be in my school.
Right. But it also gives people, it seems like, a chance to try other stuff and
absolutely
up their skill set.
Right. Yeah. So the cool thing is there's so many different, when you start to look at how people run tournaments, there's so many different rule sets. Some groups will go 3 hits. That's all you get. Got to be good. Others will say, no, we're going to 10 points. Cool. Others will say, if you get hit, you get a negative point. So all these different rule sets help people train to be better. You can't just game it for a, you can't game it. You got to just become, a practitioner of the art, right?
Right. Yeah. That's nice. I mean, so if you wanted to just be a part of a light speed thing and you're part of something else, and it's okay for you to go over there if they welcome you.
Absolutely.
And vice versa.
Yeah. Absolutely. That's the cool thing about what we did. And we did this consciously. We said, we're not tied. We don't want to tie our schools to any particular style because we love fighting everybody, right? Most of us, we just want to train and fight. So there's no affiliations. We're not part of, Kang and Terry and Charlie. They were all aware of what we were going and part of it if they wanted to be. But again, our focus was around the schools. And we wanted to say, okay, school owners, we're going to come together as a group. Doesn't mean Bobby's got it as completely open. So if you're an independent fighter and want to come fight, register and fight, right?
Right. Okay, good. That's nice. And so how long so you said it's been about a year now?
Since its birth, it's been about a year. Yeah, I'd say since January when we really started planning out what was going to happen in the Saber Combat League. And of course, everything got thrown for a tailspin come March, but
Right.
it was always in the background for us. We were always waiting for it to come back.
Has anything have you guys gotten together a lot lately, or has COVID stopped a lot of a lot of motivation or
A little bit. Yeah, I got to be honest with you, right? It stopped us back in March, like everybody else.
Right.
For me,
Yeah.
it was tough, right? My wife was super supportive, right? I got over to my school 2-3 days a week and live streamed.
Right.
It was a way
Yeah.
for me to keep my senses going, keep me fresh, keep me moving, but also it was a way to kind of give back to my students that I'm like, hey guys, we're here for you. I know you can't, just keep moving, right? Just keep moving. That's the most important thing.
Yeah. Because like you don't want to get those muscles get lazy. You want to keep that muscle memory moving.
I mean, and hell, your mind gets lazy, and that's the bad thing, right? Sitting on the couch.
Yeah, I know.
Right? Me too. I'm guilty of it. I really am.
Man. Oh yeah, me too, really badly. I mean, like, but you know, you get busy. And you have other things you got to do sometimes, and you should be more fit, especially at my age anyway. So man, so do you make any hilts that are like, are your hilts like used a lot in your classes? The hilts that you make?
It's funny. So thank you for asking. Crosspoint Sabers is my company for anybody that knows. Hopefully a few folks out there have heard of us. It's just me. I machine them all in my garage. My hilts are I take a very form and function approach. They're not the most sexiest looking hilts in the world. But
no, I beg to differ. They're pretty. They are pretty smooth and sexy. It's like a woman in a nice gown, not a bikini, but she walks in with a nice gown. You know what I mean? With some heels on, that's what you got. That's what, that's what you can produce. It's not.
That's high praise.
Don't knock it. It's classy. Very classy.
There are a lot. I love them. I love doing it. I make on average probably between 40 and 50 hilts a year. I don't do a lot. I like now that I'm doing a lot of real custom ones, but I do flat-sided hilts, which is great. I love doing flat-sided sabers. But again, if anybody's generally curious, crosspointsabers.com, check out the site.
Exactly.
So don't feel any obligation, but I love doing it. Most of the funny thing is,
please do go take a look. Please go take a look. Say that again. What it is?
Oh, it's crosspointsabers.com. So crosspointsabers.com. Or on Facebook, Crosspoint Sabers. And it's funny. Sorry to come to your question. Right, a lot of my students have my blades. Right, a lot of them use my hilts and custom hilts that I've designed for them with them. But every single time they fight, I'm like, don't break, right? Because they're little bait, they're your, you created them. You're like, all sabers break. Let's be completely honest. Every lightsaber out there, I don't care who makes it.
Yeah.
We hit them, we beat the heck out of them.
Right.
But I hate to see when they break when they're fighting. No, all right, good, yes. I think Ryan Kappas had one of great friend, right? Had honored. He bought one of my sabers, right? One of the first flat-sided ones I ever made, and he used it. And I'm watching the fight, and he was fighting Tanner, actually, one of my guys. I'm like, don't break, because Tanner had one of mine too. I'm like, oh my god, I'm like stressing out here. Right?
Nothing broke.
Oh, they always break a little bit. Nothing in that match broke, at least.
So you're good.
They always break at some point. It's just inevitable.
I like them, man. They have a nice, smooth leather wraps on them, and I like the etching on some of them. They're beautiful, and like you said, they're very simple, and they're very smooth, and they're functional.
I got to shoot your pick because I'm making a Pygaus saber form avatar, right? And I bought one of your rapier blades, the base one, so I'm going to try to just put an edge on it myself and see how it goes. But hopefully, Ryan Lannon did some etching for me for the hilt with the lotus on it and everything, and the white lotus.
Oh yeah.
I'll send you some pics. Hopefully it looks good.
Oh yeah, it will. You're just sand. That's all I gotta say. Sand and patience. You know what I mean?
Just trying to put an edge on it. That's all I'm trying to do. Nothing decorative just yet.
Well, man, I want to hear more about Saber Combat 2 a little bit because how long you yourself has been doing saber fighting in the first place? Just the get-go. How long have you been doing it? How long have you been involved?
So we started Columbus Saber Academy under a small group called Columbus Knights 5 years ago. We started them over 5 at this point. My martial art career started back in 1987 in college. I started in Taekwondo, moved to a Japanese art, the Bujinkan, and learned all my Kenjutsu sword skills from the Bujinkan for like 15 years or so. Some amazing instructors that I still, to this day, hope I train under every once in a while. I try to get with them. And then A lot of it was in the Western space, right? So after I left the Japanese space, I moved into classical Western fencing with an academy, academy in New York. So I learned Italian foil and Italian saber, dueling saber, which I love, and to this day kind of brought back a few years ago and started doing again. And a lot of us were cosplaying back 5-6 years ago. We were doing. We were a member of Heroes Alliance and the Rebel Legion and the group, the charity groups that kind of came back. And a few of us are like, wait a second, well, we all have a Jedi or a Mando or something that we have. And they're like, Tom, teach us how to do some choreo and stage combat work. I'm like, cool. So I went to my Taekwondo school that I was at, and I talked to my instructor and said, can we use the place on Sunday night? He's like, sure, no problem. So he gave us the place on Sunday night to use. And I was teaching forms and patterns and guards and cuts from the Kenjutsu days, and just applying it to stage combat, saying instead of hitting each other, stop here versus going all the way through your opponent.
Right, exactly. Yeah. That's pretty cool. So, what do you like better, the Japanese style or the foil style? What do you feel more comfortable with? What fits your body?
I'll be honest with you. So I know some of my guys will cringe when they hear me say this. I like to I'm just a fighter. Right. So I like the language of fencing. Right. And the language of fencing truly is universal. I know I said this a little bit earlier. I think it really is universal. Understanding footwork, measure, distance, timing, right? Awareness of your opponent, understanding what your opponent can do in the position that they're in. Right. What can I do as a response or as an initiative? I love that side of it, right? The technique wise, you got to have a foundation. My base foundation was the Japanese space, but then I kind of have a sister of it in the Western space. So I'm fortunate enough to be able to pull from both. And to be honest with you, it's kind of a lot of bad habits cross over. That's really the problem. Right now, in the last 2-3 years, I've started really picking up the historical weapons. So longsword, military, saber, side. And it's a blast. I tend to be more in the Italian space than the German space when it comes to that style. Just some fundamental thinking differences in how they approach the fight. But we teach a little bit of both of those. My instructors that run the Hema program are very much very different influences between the two of them. So they kind of teach different things, which is cool. Gives off a nice variety.
So do you have do you favor maybe a German footwork, and then you like to do a different kind of do you combine different styles together for what you do?
Really can. Yeah, and my base saber is a 15-inch flat-sided Ksuba, very katana-esque, but from the school that I learned at, which was long hilt, shorter blade, right? Versus the long katana blade and the 10-inch hilt. Mine was a 15-inch hilt and like a 28-inch blade, so a much shorter blade. So that's my base saber right now. But I'll be honest, I love fighting one-handed wakizashi type stuff and just kind of playing a little bit. Like I said, I just love getting hit with sabers and swords, so I don't mind what I play with. If you ask me what I teach all my students, is a two-handed style. All my materials, it's a two-handed style. Very much an amalgam between German longsword and Japanese Kenjutsu, and there really are a lot of similarities between those two. So
the pull and push.
Exactly.
Armor
was different. Intention was different. Blade structure was different. The purist like Mark is going to kill me probably because I'm sure I'm saying things they're all going to beat me up on. That's fine. But
it's a transition. It's a transition that works.
It is. I agree. Yeah.
I mean, they're both heavy blades in real life. So you would think that because certain things are going to just transition the same way.
They really do, right? The mechanic, and everyone jokes about this. There's only so many ways to hit somebody, right? The mechanics are the mechanics. Yes, my footwork might be different. My intention might be different. Do I start the attack? Do I respond to the attack? All those subtleties play in, yes, but I'm still hitting somebody diagonally downwards or straight through their head, or I'm hitting them up.
Exactly. That's nice. I mean, now, who taught you? When did you first start teaching martial arts yourself? Just straight martial arts, period. Who taught you, and when did you start?
Oh, wow. So freshman year of college, I took a Taekwondo. The Taekwondo club that was there was taught by an ex-Navy SEAL. Shouldn't say ex-Navy SEAL. That just wasn't active. And no pads. This is 87. So we're in the basement of a gym. No pads, no mouthpiece, no headgear, no chest gear. I walked out of that room more nights with welts on my shin from hits and blocks and stuff.
Are you supposed to talk about this? Is this the thing
Yeah,
we're
no,
supposed to talk about?
exactly.
Oh, okay.
And the funny
Okay,
thing
okay.
is, this was at the geekiest engineering college that exists in this country on the East Coast, right? So, but we used to beat the heck out of each other in that place, and that's where I started. Right, it was just real practical martial arts. Sword career though started with. It's funny because I took a fencing class before I took the Taekwondo class. I'm like, these guys lunge too much. They do squat thrusts. I'm not doing that. I want to get beat up by somebody. I don't want to be doing like calisthenics. Screw that. 30 years later, I'm teaching fencing, right? So.
Oh, that's crazy. That's funny how that happens. I mean, yeah, I've seen you fight, and you're very you do have that lunge in there though. You do have yeah, you do get that reach in there. I've seen you a couple of times, but yeah, you have a nice uniform too. Like you love the black.
Yeah, I do love the black, right?
You do love the black.
When I first started in TSL, I wanted to do something a little bit different. So I wanted to take a very Japanese approach to my armor that I had. So I made a pair of Haidate, the thigh protection with Kydex plates that I created. And
you're the first one I've seen do that.
Yeah, thank you. It was fun. I've since moved to a Hema jacket, right? Because quite honestly, putting on all that gear is a pain in the butt sometimes. When I can put on a jacket, zip it up, good to go, right?
Yeah.
I'm getting old, so I'm getting lazy. I've always been lazy, let's be honest.
But you're too active because you're doing so much. You can't do it all. That's what it is.
I'll try, I guess, but it doesn't work usually. I know. You too, though. You're just crazy. You're out there every day. Oh my God, I see your stuff all the time. It's amazing.
Oh well, it's not me. It's V. V has the whip, and then she just gets to it. She just gotta get them blades done. That's what it is. I'm half asleep doing boy. I do like this. She whips me, and I wake up and get done, get the blades doing, get going.
Nice.
Yeah. But now let me get back to your hilts and so where can somebody go to get one of your hilts? And I mean, you said your website, but can they find you on Facebook as well?
Absolutely.
Do you have an Instagram? Do you have a Twitter?
I don't do Twitter.
Okay.
But Facebook, Instagram, and website Crosspoint Sabers. So on Facebook, Crosspoint Sabers. Actually, probably have a few more photos of the most recent stuff that we did. I made 2 sabers about a month ago for one customer who's a good friend of mine now and a student of ours. And he's like, can you make a saber with flat sides? I'm like, that's easy, right for me. Can you do a hex pommel? I'm like, not a pommel, hex tsuba. I'm like, I'll figure it out. We'll work. He's like, I want it all white because his scheme is white and purple. I'm like, what are you going, Storm Shadow from G.I. Joe here? He's like, yes, that's it. I'm like, well, all right. If I make you a Storm Shadow one, I'm going to make myself a Snake Eyes one. He's like, bet. Good. So I wish I had it. I left it at the school. So I made him a hex pommel, flat-sided grooved hilt, and a hexagonal tsuba. And on the tsuba, I carved in the Ashikagi clan logo in the pommel. So it's actually kind of cool. If anyone wants to check it out, I've got pictures of it up on the website.
Okay, yeah, please.
It's pretty cool. It's my Snake Eye saber. It's actually pretty cool. I love it. I'll never fight with it, to be honest with you, but I should because it's perfectly combat ready. But yeah, everything, I don't put too much on Instagram, but I do put up to Facebook page quite a bit. So anybody wants to come on, take a look. If you're interested in a custom saber, I don't really sell. I don't keep anything in stock. Everything is made to order.
Yeah.
So everything from length and to styles and aesthetic components, colors, the whole 9 yards. I powder coat here inside. And so, and I've worked with a lot of the Ryan and Dale and a few others that do the etching on kind of sending out etching and sending it back to powder coat. So I love that stuff. It keeps me kind of just humble to learn these things. Right.
I understand. It must, especially at the time. Especially if you get the time.
Sometimes I make too much of the time. I shouldn't, but
Man, I mean, I want everybody to go take a look at that. I want to go take a look at that when I'm done here. I want to go see that hilt. I can't believe I haven't looked at it. Because I know when I scroll, I'm usually busy, and then I scroll and I get to see one of your stuff when it pops up. And it's usually your best stuff because it's usually something that people are a lot of comments are on. So that's why it gets in my feed. So I'm like, so I'm going to see everything, but the stuff I do see is the
Thank
what I mean? So I'm like, oh,
I
so they
always
all
get
look really
amazed.
nice.
I get amazed that people like my stuff because it is really simple, right? It's an intentional aesthetic to be very, very functional based, but it works. I enjoy, I make them because I fight with them, right? And if I fight with it and I want to use it, then I'm going to hopefully somebody else will find value in it, and it seems to be the case. So it's kind of cool, right?
Yeah. And then about the Saber Combat League, I want to know how they can get a hold of you, and
Sure.
how to get a part of that, and how they can join and get all the rules they need and everything.
Thank you. Yeah, absolutely. So sabercombatleague.com is the main website. We've got all of our partner academies listed there. What I would say is check out the partner academies that are listed. If you live by one of them, talk to them. Go out there, check out classes, take some classes, give it a try, right? If you don't, or if you're at a school that's not listed, let me know, right? We add people every week. Again, I think I said this earlier. It's not an intensive process to become a partner academy. Essentially, we just say, you got to be a martial arts school of some kind. You got to be training your students. You got to care about your students. You got to care about your community. That's super important. And quite honestly, you got to host an event. I don't care if the event's a tournament or a training seminar or just we got an open house this weekend, come fight. Because the point of this was community, right? The whole point of this was to improve all of our fighting ability by fighting different groups.
Right.
If you're out there and you're at a school and you want to be a part of it and you're not listed, just ping me. We'll get it set up the next day. Totally easy. Right?
A place like Kyber Cave and get a hold of you, right?
Absolutely. If you guys want, let me know. Hook me up, right?
Exactly.
As far as the rule set go, and I mentioned this earlier too, we really want to make it to give the autonomy to the schools to create their events. It's not a Saber Combat League specified event. It's a Saber Combat League event run by Columbus Saber Academy, for example, when we do ours. Now, we have a base framework rule set that just essentially says you got to have the right gear, right? You got to have a saber that's not going to break. And, you got to be able to understand that here's how we're going to score. Here's how, the options for scoring. Here's what can be allowed. But quite honestly, at that point, it really becomes up to the school. I want to allow cross guard sabers and basket hilt lightsabers in the tournament that we produce. I think Bobby's doing it too down in Tennessee. Awesome. We're going to allow hand checks, which is great.
Okay. Yeah. Actually, that's kind of cool.
Right. Some schools are going to do, 3 points and you're done. Some schools are going to do best to 10. And that the nice thing is it really, and I think I mentioned earlier too, right? It gives the school sets the identity for the event. Right? As long as we have the same kind of common denominator, that works. And then everything on top of that makes it exciting to be there.
All right, man. I want everybody to get in contact with that. I mean, it gives a lot of people a lot of freedom to be themselves, and at the same time, they get a chance to be a part of something. So
that's the plan. That's exactly the goal. Thank you for that. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm glad that you guys are around, man.
Thanks. So you guys are around. And we've got somebody wants to. So we did just recently put a group up on Facebook. We were pretty low key for the first 6 months of the year, just kind of melting into the background a little bit, right? But obviously this week kind of got a little crazy, right?
Yeah.
And we got a lot of attention. We're like, okay, cool.
Yeah, good.
Again, if it brings folks into a school, everybody benefits. And that's the most important thing, right? So yeah, thank you. And the group is up on Facebook. It's just a group, Saber Combat League. You all can join. It's, you'll see a lot of the familiar faces and names and voices in there as you would. Plus a lot of new ones that were never part of any of the national leagues or organizations, just the school on their own. And they're now in there. So you're seeing some new faces too, which is always kind of cool.
That's nice.
Thanks.
Yeah, that's good. So you bring people in.
That's the goal, right? That's the plan.
Man, this is beautiful.
Exactly. Right there, right? Oh no.
Yeah. He's right there.
Crosspoint Saber's website too. Your hilts are gorgeous.
Oh, thank you.
I
appreciate
that. The grace in those. Those are absolutely fantastic. Well, I am excited to hear more about the league. I hope it grows and that everybody can become involved. Since you've got so many different things, you got Crosspoint Sabers, you got your school, and you got the league. Can you give us a really quick list of where people can find information on all of those?
Sure. Yep. If you're interested in lightsabers and you like what I make, check it out. CrossPointSabers.com, Facebook, Crosspoint Sabers, Instagram at Crosspoint Sabers. Pretty easy. I try to. I'm old, so I got to remember these things. So I make them as simple as I can.
Crosspoint Sabers.
Yeah. Saber Combat League. Pretty much all the socials. We don't do Twitter. I don't do Twitter just because I'm managing it. But Facebook, website, sabercombatleague.com, Facebook, and our group on Facebook, just basically a community group. It is moderated, so we do keep an eye out. So come on, enjoy the chat. Be respectful.
And I can see V is putting them all up right now. Thank you so much, V.
Thanks, V. Appreciate it. Right. And then Columbus Saber Academy is columbussaberacademy.com, Facebook, Columbus Saber Academy. What I kind of, and I don't do this because we don't get any monetary piece out of it. Check out our YouTube channel. It's youtube.com/c/Columbus Saber Academy, or just search Columbus Saber Academy YouTube. We've got over 200 videos up there. This pandemic, we made a whole instructional series for LED sabering.
Nice.
So I claim it to be the only approach, but it is an approach to look at. So go take it and, listen to what I have to say. And if you like it, great. And if you don't, tell me and we'll fix it. I'm good with that too.
That's nice too.
That's fantastic. Well,
anybody that claims their art is the best just means it's the best for them. And that's cool.
Yeah, but that's something nice that you did during this whole COVID thing. That's
I
nice.
had to. I'm completely selfish about it. I had to, or else I would go nuts. My wife kicked me out of the house knowing that if I was here the whole time, she'd go nuts. Right?
Something to do.
Yeah, and I always preface that. I'm like, listen, I'm in my school, but it's empty. It's just me, and we're going to talk on camera for a half hour to an hour, right?
Well, but that's fantastic that you give people that option, especially at this time when people are stuck in the house by themselves. They're probably missing the social aspect of sabering. But it's nice that you put those videos out where they can still keep their skills up and train at home, or even bring brand new people into the sport that that have never seen a lightsaber before.
Yeah, and I'll be honest with you, like, I'm not doing anything unique. A lot of the schools were doing that because we all this is our hobby. That's our passion because it's our hobby. To stop was hard, right? So we all said, we're just going online. If you don't I love the influx of online content that was out there. Now, some of it was crap. Some of it was amazing, right? You had
exactly.
But it was so cool just that everybody was so jonesing to connect that they were just pumping material out there. It was awesome.
Yeah, that's true. That's so true.
Beautiful, beautiful. Well, thank you so much, Tom. I have been very excited. I wish you and your school and your students and your league and everything the best of luck, especially through these crazy times. Hopefully, by the end of the year, we'll all be able to get back together again and beat each other up with glow sticks.
I hope so. And for those that might be in the area in December that want to come out to Nashville, Bobby's got his tournament at the Saber Strong Open. There's a group up on Facebook for it. Check it out. See if you're interested. It's going to be live streamed. There are separate rooms for people to view in, right, where he's really taking a lot of cool precautions to keep everybody safe. But it'll be an awesome event. We've got, I think he's targeting to have over 50 to 100 fighters. I don't know. We're targeting a lot. So we got a lot of registrants already. So it's really amazing.
That's fantastic. Nice. And when did you say that was? What month?
December. First weekend in December. I think it is December 5th is the actual date. But yeah, it's up on the group. I always kind of screw it up. He gets mad at me when I screw it up, but I screw it up all the time. So.
Wonderful. Well, thank you guys so much. We'll be looking for more information on that. Heading out to Nashville in December. Gary, for all those that probably everybody here already knows, but if you don't know, make sure to check out Gary's show every Sunday at 6:30. Is it, Gary?
Yeah, about 6:30. We try to make it between 6 o'clock, but right now we're in the middle of moving. We're going from Texas back to Arizona. And so, we're going to be pretty busy. I'm going to try next week. We're trying to be here still next week, though. So we're Charlie Cummings. So.
Oh, awesome. That's great.
So we're going to try to do this again. So we're trying to make sure the Saber community is still together and still intact with love.
I love Charlie. He's amazing. I wish we were closer to Minnesota. He's just such a good fighter and such a good guy.
Oh, my God! Don't give me started on Charlie. Don't get me started on Charlie, man.
He was the first guy I ever met in TSL, and then I think I met Ryan and then Terry right after that. And it's like I saw him at TSL 2 when we first met, right? TSL 2 in Minnesota in the gym. He gave me a big quick hug. I'm like, this is awesome. We never met face to face, and I wish him all the best, and I hope and I'll tell I said, Charlie, I know I pinged you, and you said yes. If you ever need anything, just let me know. If I can help in any way, right? I'd love to.
Yeah, he is awesome, and we want more people to see him next week. So he's pretty awesome, dude. Charlie Cummings is like, dude, I really do adore. He's a cool cat.
Heck yeah.
Excited. I'll be excited to see that interview next week.
Yeah.
Groovy. Thank you, gentlemen, so much. I appreciate you guys coming out tonight.
Thank you for having me.
Right on, man. Thank you, man. And thank you guys for your patience, man. I appreciate it, man. It was a rough day today. We made it, and we got to get grooving, go to work, and do it again tomorrow.
You're safe.
Thanks, Rip. Thanks, Vi. Appreciate it, guys.
All right,
Thank
Fran.
you.
All right. Okay, guys. We're a little bit over so we're going to have a really short one here, but I've got both Greg and Raven from Ravenwing Hema here. Actually, well, I'm in the store, so it's not that I have them here. I just happen to be here where they are. So I'm going to bring on Greg. Yeah, thank you. I'm going to bring on Greg, and we're just going to talk about a few things that are going on. Yep. Here, I'm going to have you put this on so they can read it off. Yep.
All right.
Here, why don't you talk where they can see them in the background?
Okay.
Here, can you just
Yeah.
And
So there we go.
have you in the foreground and them in the background?
Yeah, there we go. There we go. Ha! That works. Okay, so what we're doing right now, this is we're kind of slow tonight for class, so as in only the instructors are here tonight. Yeah, we have been growing. It happens to be a slow night. It happens. So what we're actually doing is working out drills that we are working for in class. So you have me and Raven, who are the head coaches. Tina is our assistant coach. So they're working out right now the riposte drills, and we're helping Tina learn more of going what's called offline. So when you defend against your attack, you want to step out of the direct front of your opponent, which gives you a better angle of attack and gives them a worse angle of attack. So, can you show through a good riposte? All right. So they're going to demonstrate.
Remember when Raven's talking, people online can't
Yeah.
You have to
Yeah. So what he said, they're going through the Zargo Lago. Yeah, it's the Zora Lago 1. So they come in. So all it is as it showed, your blades meet, you step to the side, bonk. So what they're doing now is they're going to switch sides. Tony's going to attack. Tina is going to defend against it. So you can see where they stepped and they counteracted each other's step to stay in line. That's where you start in sword fighting and kind of start doing a dance. You start circling each other instead of just staying face to face at all times. Speaking of which, you can't see my face right there. So you want to go through it one more time?
Okay, let me ask you a question. You said this movie called the Zora Lago 1.
Mm.
Zora Lago 2 and
Yes.
3. Oh. Is this a series of steps for Fiore's defensive drill counter? Ah. Okay.
So what they're doing now, they're going through realistically the same drill, just with a thrust instead of a slash. So you see they meet, she steps offline, thrusts in. Now, the only reason the three of us here are doing this without all the proper gear on is
we all know each other. We all trust each other very well. He said we're also the 3 instructors. We have to practice this stuff. We're not always going to have our stuff on. When our students are practicing this stuff, these types of drills will only be performed on the instructors themselves. We will not be attacking the student. They will be performing the defensive maneuvers on us because we have all of the proper equipment on, and we're probably more adept to taking hits.
So, Greg, when I was just talking about this thing about school in the league that they had, he said that his original background was in kendo, and that he finds that with sabering, that the footwork all translates across.
It does.
I've seen Raven do a lot of footwork over there.
Yes, in Hema, footwork is it's a key to sword fighting. You have bad footwork, you're probably going to die. If you can't move properly, you're not going to have any sort of advantage. Our first drill that we usually work on in practices are basic traversal skills, and that is being in the proper stance. Now, Kendo has a different stance than Hema does. Our footwork's actually done depending on the type of sword, for one, and then even for long sword, your feet switch. You go wider, you go shorter, you bend the knee on specific legs more, depending on what guard stance you're in. And it's a lot of it's what's most comfortable, but there are also ways you're supposed to be. That you don't want to stick your forward leg out too far. So if I were fighting you in a real sword fight, I'm going to see that leg all the way out here. I'm going to want to chop it. Get hit in the shins doesn't feel good. So you want to try and keep a lot of it, you're trying to say squared to your body. So anything basically from your shoulders over, you want to stay squared in that area. Now, say you were doing saber fighting, different kind of saber fighting, like with Polish sabers, Hungarian sabers, things like that. Your feet are more in line, squared with each other than with your body. So you have to be able to move faster. They're closer together. Your knee would be more bent. Your back leg would actually typically be more straightened, so you could thrust out a lot, shoot out for the thrust. It's all different, and it depends on the type of weapon you're using. If you're using a shield or not, it all depends. There's a lot that goes into it. Currently, we only train in longsword. We play around in saber and shield. Really, that's just the two of us. But we're trying to teach people. We're trying to make good swordsmen, and we're starting with the basis of the longsword. It's probably the easiest, in my opinion, to teach people. Even though there's a lot to learn, there's different origins of it to teach from. Like his favorite's an Italian style. I actually prefer a German style. It's all dependent on what you study, what text you're reading, stuff like that.
All right, so coming up, let me know when we have classes.
So classes for Raven Wing is Wednesdays and Fridays, 7 to 9. As of now, the classes are free. Our class size isn't big enough to constitute asking for any kind of money, especially right now because we're only training in drills for the most part. We're not sparring each other. When we start getting larger class sizes, people start getting better with the drills. We're going to get into sparring. That's when there may be money involved because we have to be able to get the equipment. And we can't keep coming out of pocket for it. That's killing us. And like we have the swords available for it, but we don't have things like the padded jackets. We don't have masks. We don't have shin guards, gloves, and those are things we're gonna need. So, like I said, for now, no cost. Come on down, give it a try. You don't like it? At least you tried it.
Beautiful. All right, my friend.
All right.
And it's back to me. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I appreciate everybody who has come online tonight. Thank you to Tom Amoroso and Gary Ripper for that fantastic interview. I'm happy that Gary made it back to Texas safely. Next week, typically it would be me interviewing if you saw Gary this week, But Gary has a fantastic interview with a high-ranking member of the Saber Legion. So I suggest you come back here next Friday at 7 p.m. West Coast time, Pacific time, United States. Until then, have a beautiful and safe week. Keep your mask on and your family safe. Peace, y'all.